recently retired educator, working as a contract trainer with ncce.org. I'm based in Fort Worth, Texas, and most all of my work has been online. But here I hope to be more of a facilitator, and there's good conversation, good questions, good contributions from participants, that this is not so much a presentation as just a sharing session, which EdCamp facilitates that. Because I'm not sponsored by a district now, I am using a personal Zoom account, and so it's going to time out, and it may time out suddenly without warning at the 40-minute point. So I came in at 5 till, so at about 12:35 our time, it'll probably just shut off if we're not finished. So in that case, I've found that I can go back to the EdCamp session page and click on the link and get back in, and you can do the same thing if we need to continue discussion. Anyway, this is my 4th year as a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert and as a Google Certified Trainer. So in my work with NCCE, in my work with the district before retiring, educational technology, working in both platforms in Microsoft and Google. And this environment, we're going to talk about helping students with fluency and comprehension using Microsoft ImmersiveReader. Now, while that may not be the only tool that's available, it is free, and it's available from Microsoft, and it spans a lot of their different apps and patterns. So again, if you like, please scroll up in the chat and click the link to get that PowerPoint presentation, and you can follow right along. I'm going to start sharing my screen. And April, thank you for, we're recording now, and thank you for following along in the chat. As people have questions, please feel free to stop me at any point, and we will share. We'll stop and deal as much as we can with questions. So again, this began as a presentation by Mike Tolfson. And if you are not familiar with Mike, he is a product manager for Microsoft. He's a very gifted and skilled instructional technology person. So on the title slide are his contacts. Mike has a couple of very interesting things. I've included links. He has a YouTube channel and he has a TikTok account. So he does very quick videos on tips for Microsoft apps, including ImmersiveReader, as well as having a YouTube channel with lengthier videos. And you see my contact information as well. So again, this is a link. If you're in the presentation, you have this slide and the link to the OneNote that's included. I will most likely be going to the OneNote in Windows 10 app using this same presentation when we get to that point. And there are Mike's YouTube and TikTok number. This came from Andy Newman, instructional technology coach, but just quickly illustrates a little bit of ImmersiveReader. ImmersiveReader is a free tool that deals with a lot of the aspects of reading, to give reading support with regard to especially students who have dyslexia or other reading challenges, ELLs, and other students who can use reading support. So many classrooms have students with varying reading levels. When I taught 3rd grade, I had students who were very low readers, and I had very few students who were actually on level when they came to me. So here, 73% teachers report working with 4 or more grade levels. 52% of teachers have English as a second language learners. And in my last classroom campus, we were predominantly, in fact, I think over 95% Hispanic, and we had a predominance of dual language classrooms, which students had Spanish and English alternating days. So we had a lot of ELLs. With special ed students, we can, technology issues can take a lot of our time. So today, all these different areas, when we talk about inclusion, today we're going to be talking primarily about reading. And as you place things in chat, think of what you would like to get out of this session, and specifically the kinds of assistance that you would believe help your students the most in your classroom, whether you have them in person or you have them remote. Now, this is a Microsoft Immersive Reader is a free tool. You see it in Word, in OneNote, in Outlook, in Office Lens. And Office Lens is an intriguing app for phones that I love to use. Teams, Forms, Flipgrid, Minecraft, and the Microsoft Edge browser. And you may have also noticed there's an announcement Microsoft announced, I believe, yesterday, opening or unveiling a kid-friendly, a kid-safe browser version of Edge. You know, we have Safe Search in Google. This is a special one that's designed to be safer for students. I'm going to, let's see. Well, April, you let me know if this works. We didn't experiment with this.
Jim, we can see the picture, but we're not hearing the sound.
Okay, we'll go past this. It's a 1-minute video, and you'll have the link to look at if you like, but it's just explaining to students who have learning challenges, reading challenges, and are helped through ImmersiveReader. Now I'm going to switch from the PowerPoint presentation to OneNote. And hopefully the screen will switch just fine. Are we there, April? Okay, great. Now, the ImmersiveReader as a free tool is available on a lot of different platforms. If you'll notice, and this may have even changed since I downloaded and posted this. You notice in OneNote, online, desktop, Windows 10, iPad, they're all aspects of it: read aloud, spacing, syllables, parts of speech, etc., in the platforms, but it's especially strong in online and in the Windows 10 app. Word online, so your Office 365, your Word online, your OneNote online, your Outlook online, if you use Outlook in your communication with students. And then here we have Edge, Teams, Forms, Flipgrid, Minecraft, and Office Lens. ImmersiveReader is available to give student support. Now, in some of these, you'll notice not all the features are available. So we'll go through that a little bit, but that video is posted again for you here. Now, if I go to Microsoft Word, I have just a sample. Oh, excuse me, I'm Teams here. Word, ImmersiveReader. I can immediately go to ImmersiveReader as a demo. If I go into a Word document, and let me right over here and go to Word. When Word opens, and I'm in Word online, when Word opens, and I'm just going to click a blank document, I have the option of using ImmersiveReader as one of the features of my text, and that is going to be, you notice, under the View tab. And this is the icon you'll see in all the different Microsoft apps. It's a little book with a speaker icon. So this allows whatever is read to be interpreted through ImmersiveReader, be modified and used there. So let me go back. And, you know, it's all these different apps that are part of it. Forms has a similar sort of thing. And then in Forms, when I open up, right here, the 3 dots, if I click on those 3 dots, it allows me to enable ImmersiveReader. So ImmersiveReader will come up as an icon next to the title. And then when I click, it will open ImmersiveReader just for the title. And when I click into the text area, you notice an ImmersiveReader icon, it will open ImmersiveReader in Forms, in the text of Forms. So we'll take, when I get over to Texas Monthly, we're going to talk a little bit, we're going to show you a little bit of the different features that ImmersiveReader offers. So here, again, Forms and Word, Office Lens. Now, Office Lens is not for your computer. It is a mobile device app only. So it's available in the App Store, it's available in Google Play, but it is an image capture app that to me is just remarkable. So these are screenshots I took from Office Lens on my phone. So here I'm able to frame a picture in Office Lens. It automatically attempts to crop to a page size or a shape. And then it allows me, you notice here, I framed it. Now it automatically puts the frame around it for cropping. And then when I click confirm, it now straightens the image and sets it up and allows me to modify it. And when I click done, it asks where I want to send it. So if you have students, and this is not just students with reading challenges, any students, and you're using an online platform for document storage or for them to turn in items, if they're working on a paper document, they can simply take a picture of that paper document and then export it through Office Lens to any of these choices. And even on their phones, ImmersiveReader is one of the options. So not only can students take an image of a page or of an item and then use the options of ImmersiveReader on it, but you could be in France and take a picture of a road sign and have it translate for you. It takes images and then it uses the different features of ImmersiveReader.
Hey, Jim, can I interrupt you for a quick second? We've got some questions in the chat. Is this a good time?
Sure.
Okay, so Nicole was asking if there was a way to only enable this for certain students, or is it always going to enable anyone who uses the form?
I think that you would have to create a separate form for students, and a different link for students for whom it was enabled. On some of the features, I believe it's going to enable or disable for the class as opposed to individual students. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost 100% sure. So this is it is an accessible feature, but yeah, I think you're going to have to take it, basically make a copy of your form and change the link and enable it if you're doing it that way.
Okay, great. What I've found is when teachers start asking these questions, these companies really listen to us and they make changes and improvements based on what we need to meet the needs of our students. So I think that's a good option. And then also, would it be possible for you to share the link to your slides again?
Okay.
You did that at the beginning, or maybe we could either share that again or drop it in the chat. Some people that popped in here late are asking. I think people are hopping in and out because it's the lunch hour.
Okay. Let me get to. It was in here. Yes, it doesn't let me see the chat. So let me get back to. Well, here we go. Now it's trying to give me a little ruckus here. Thank you for your patience.
There we go. It came up now, Jim. Thank you.
Okay. Can you grab it?
Let me see if I can grab it. I'm going to try.
If not, when I do this, I can do it.
Yeah, there we go.
Right? Better?
Yep, that worked. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions at this point?
That was all that was in the chat.
Okay. All right. So Office Lens, like I said, an Office Lens is amazing. I use it daily. Just anytime I need to take a picture of something. I used it to make an online recipe book for my wife that starts with her mother's recipes and goes through hers and friends, and we share it with our daughters. So anybody can have family recipe access. Use it for family photos, just anything, whether it's school, personal, business, whatever. The Office Lens app is really handy. Now, Texas Monthly, I'm not sure about Kansas Monthly, but Texas Monthly here is pretty fun. And ImmersiveReader actually has some work available through here. So again, I click View and ImmersiveReader, and it will reformat that page for ImmersiveReader. Now, I think you may not be able to get the audio, but you can see that it is reading. I can change. So it reads, I can change here the voice speed. I can change whether it's a male or female voice. I also here, I can change the size of the font. I can change the spacing. And typically expanded spacing makes it easier to read. And I also can change the font type. In Comic Sans, while it may not be respected well for formal writing, is easy to read and just kind of fun. So I can change the color scheme. For some students, perhaps with dyslexia or other issues, a change of color can be helpful. And then I have more colors, so any of these I can go, helps. And then I can go back to the original. And that is all under this first category. In the second, I can highlight parts of speech. And I can show labels. So for review or for initial learning or instruction, these different parts of speech are available. I can also click on syllables to help with syllabification, recognizing syllable counts and just recognizing syllable divisions. So all that is available through ImmersiveReader. And also, I can use line focus. I know that sometimes with students, we have used just like file folders with little windows cut out of them or little devices to help focus on lines, but this allows me to use a line at a time to help focus on reading. And then there's Picture Dictionary. Let's see, I'm going to go to a little different right here. If I click the word, I get the word in English and I get the word in a selected language, and it will say the word in both languages. So here, for the moment, when I left this program last, it was in German. So now I can, and this again, this is from a magazine cover. I can change and translate the document. And you notice some of these words are just not translatable, but here we go. So in other words, and again, this is straight from the magazine cover. So if I go back, one thing that you'll notice with Immersive Reader, if you're using something like a magazine cover, is that it reads from left to right and then top to bottom. So instead of what we've learned from The Protesters by Christopher Hooks, you get what we've learned from Richard Linklater, Isn't the Dizzying Art of the Protesters Dazed or Confused, Auctioneering. So it's reading. So that is a caveat, that it's not going to recognize columns, but it will recognize left to right and top to bottom. But here's an interview with Willie Nelson. You may not have heard of him way up, in Kansas, but in Texas, he's been pretty popular. And here is, if I go back to Immersive Reader through View, I have this. And so, right, if I go here, let's say I want to change it to Spanish, which was the predominant language. And here I have Spanish, Latin America, Mexico, and Spain. And for us in Texas, Mexico would be the most prominent. So I turn document translation on for all the areas in which there are translations. It's going to translate, and if I click, it's going to read in the language with an appropriate accent or pronunciation. And also, if I hover over or I choose a word, it's going to give me the picture dictionary, both in Spanish and in English. And if I up here, I have original in Spanish, all I have to do is click original, and it goes back to English. So again, all of these, and again, all of this is free in the Microsoft Immersive Reader. It's, again, like I say, it just seems to be an especially remarkable app. And these were pictures taken through Office Lens and then uploaded. Now, the Edge browser. Now, let's see, if I go to the Edge browser here, I'm going to go this way. Go back and I'm going to copy this link. And I'm going to go to Reading is Fundamental site in the Edge browser. As I will tell you, this feature in the Edge browser is not universal. It will not automatically have Immersive Reader available for every site, but it will have for a number of sites. And what it doesn't have in Immersive Reader, it will still have in Read Aloud, Microsoft's Read Aloud feature, to assist. It doesn't have as many features, but it will help. So now here I click on Immersive Reader, and now it has turned that page into text that can be handled the same way as with the other here, text preferences, again, spacing, size, grammar tools, and reading preferences. So here, picture dictionary, I can turn that on, and I can click for assistance. And here is, oh my goodness, let's try this page in Arabic. And there it is. And then it will read. So it's a pretty remarkable, even through a browser kind of circumstance. Now, in the Edge browser, the read aloud is limited. You can choose a language. It doesn't read aloud in every language, although Microsoft continues to increase the number of language selections that are available. So again, this is in the Edge browser. If you see this icon on a site, that means Microsoft ImmersiveReader is available. If you don't see it, you can still, the keystroke, you can still get access to the read aloud part of ImmersiveReader. And
Jim,
April,
I want to let you know, I think we're at the 5-minute warning, and we do have a couple more questions in the chat.
You bet.
Let's see. Someone was asking if it's compatible with Google or not.
Yes. You won't have the browser features, like ImmersiveReader is not going to be in the Google browser, but you will have access to the ImmersiveReader features if you're using like Word Online, Slides, PowerPoint Online, all the different ones. It will still work because you're using the online app from Microsoft.
Okay, great. And then Colby was wondering if she understood correctly that it could be used with any online text by using the Office Lens or printed text.
So far, it has done that for me. I've taken snapshots of handwritten text, and it's not perfect, but it's really pretty good. And April, we'll see. I just got a little notice about removing the 40-minute limit. Did you wave your magic wand or something?
I think maybe I did. Go ahead and give it a try.
Okay.
Great.
Now remember, if we do get cut off, we can get back in with that original link. So we'll see. Okay, Flipgrid. And you probably noticed in the Flipgrid for this event that Microsoft ImmersiveReader was in the Flipgrid automatically as a part of it. So that this is a little document about using using Microsoft Reader in Flipgrid, but also if I go to Flipgrid, I can get to, excuse me, I didn't get to the right link here. I'm having to move things around because I have this control panel and images that are helping me. Let's see whether it will.
While you're working on that, Jim, Dana was hoping you could show us an example of the picture dictionary as well.
Okay, all right. Again, in here, and this is in OneNote from Office Lens. I click ImmersiveReader, and I turn on Picture Dictionary.
Jim, you might have to go out and back in. It's kind of frozen on the screen sharing.
Okay, all right. Hold on. Okay, what is showing now?
Jim, I think if you stop sharing your screen and then reshare.
Is that maybe the issue?
I think so.
Or
now we see a sponge for you.
oh, okay, very good. Okay, is it back?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so are you seeing the ImmersiveReader page now?
Yes, we are.
Great, thank you. So if I click on Reading Preferences and the Picture Dictionary, I make sure it's turned on and the language that I choose by word. It also works with document. So when I hover over a word, it gives me the original language and a chosen language, and then it will pronounce either one. So for example, with an ELL who only needs certain words translated, that's really handy because the student can stay with original language and just hover over words that, with which he or she needs help. You'll see in this a few words that are incomplete, and it's because ImmersiveReader is trying to read the text, and in this case from the image, some of the text is in image form rather than like picture form, rather than, like here this D is next, so what you'll see on the page is "uring" instead of "during." Did that help answer about picture dictionary?
Yeah, I was thinking, I don't know why, I was thinking like there would actually be like a picture or something that would show up. I thought that was great for ELL, so I thought it missed.
Okay. Oh, let's see. Sometimes there is. Let's see if we can go to something else and find that. Let me see whether. Because there are at times, and I think it maybe it depends on the particular text formatting. Let's see if I click on channels. Okay, there we go. So channels here does have an image. Let's see.
I kind of wondered that, Jim, because you originally clicked on the word "from," which isn't going to really have a picture, but a lot of these others, that is just phenomenal that it puts up a picture.
Yeah, so you've got page, página, and then you have the picture. Yes. Sorry about that. Any other question about?
You know what, Jim, in the chat, Nicole was wondering, so some districts have one-to-one iPads. How does this work? Do you know the accessibility on an iPad, Apple device? Okay, and this may or may not still be true, but this was available at the time that I prepared this. Like on the iPad, read aloud, spacing, font size in OneNote, all of these. iPad, read aloud, spacing in Word, Outlook, and I don't know whether you use Outlook with students, but Flipgrid, quite a few. Yeah. Okay, this is really helpful. I just took a picture of that because I tweeted this session on Twitter and a bunch of people are asking questions. So now I can hear that graphic and field it. So thank you. And let's see, this, if I remember right, here we go. Mike Tolfson and a partner have put in a page in Microsoft just called All About the Immersive Reader. And it includes lots of different resources, videos and others, information. And I would say that any of this has been updated. So if you go to this page, the latest kinds of things should be available there. But it is, OneNote is Mike Tolfson's baby. And so he is just super on top of the kinds of things that happen in it. And ImmersiveReader is right in the middle of that. So this link on the ImmersiveReader resource page, if you click this link, it'll take you to that site. And I can even put that in the chat if that might be helpful. Let's get over there. Okay. Jim, I just searched that too and found that Mike's video. Mike Tolfson has a video too. Wow, that's phenomenal. And again, he has these TikTok videos and the YouTube playlist. He has a lot of work in this. And also, if you will follow him on Twitter, when I send him a message, a personal message, I'm surprised if it's over 5 minutes before he responds. I mean, he is really adamant about wanting to be accessible and helpful with regard to these apps. So I really do encourage that. Let me mention something, let's see, Math Assistant. Now Flipgrid, again, Flipgrid will show up, just a little icon next to the title, next to the text.
Teams, if you use Microsoft Teams, it will show up in the posts. But Math Assistant is going to be under the draw rather than view. So if I click on draw, math is going to be one of my options. So if I click here and then I click math, if I identify a something I want to help my students with, or students have help with, and I click math, then it allows me to choose different actions. I can solve for X. I can show the steps. And also, you notice that ImmersiveReader is part of that. When I tutored 5th grade math students, ELLs, the issue wasn't math, the issue was the vocabulary. So they were having trouble with language. They weren't having trouble solving the issues once they understood the words. So that can be a real help to your students who are struggling with language. Now, also, Math Assistant will combine with forms to create practice quizzes for you. So you can put in the kinds of problems, and then it will suggest a number of problems, algorithms of the same type to use as just a check for understanding with your students. So right in there, Math Assistant is very valuable and easy to use inside OneNote. So again, OneNote, if you're talking about iPads, if you're one-to-one iPads, you're looking at the OneNote app, because these come as separate apps, OneNote app, and then using it this way with your students. Okay, April, other questions? We're getting close to running out of time.
We are. I'm just kind of trying to keep my jaw off the floor because I'm just so completely impressed with what ImmersiveReader could do. I was kind of scrolling back through here. If anyone has a question that I missed, don't be afraid to unmute yourself and ask.
Like in Teams, you're in a post and all you have to do is click the 3 dots for more, and ImmersiveReader then will read it. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't had as much success, and hopefully they're working on this. I haven't had as much success with Office Lens exporting to OneNote that's inside Teams and then ImmersiveReader working. So that's something you might want to experiment with some, but that's just a caveat to look out for. If it doesn't work for you right at first, don't be shocked. It may be something they've solved by now, but the last time I tried it, it did not import well for ImmersiveReader. Well, that's pretty much the presentation of. I want to keep answering questions if there are questions. I'm sorry to have talked so much, but ImmersiveReader has so many different facets that I wanted to cover as much as we could.
Thank you so much, Jim. And I apologize if you're going to get blasted on Twitter. I'm trying to post as much as I can, but I think there's a lot of interest in ImmersiveReader in this session. So thank you so much.
Great.
For being a part of EdCamp and sharing this amazing tool.